I didn't have the training to cut the garment or do some of the things that designers do, but I had the eye.
Ralph Lauren is one of the most iconic fashion brands in the world, with an estimated value of $13.16 billion. From dirt poor to billion-dollar empire, the incredible rags to riches story of Ralph Lauren is nothing short of legendary. To understand how this impoverished kid became a global fashion icon, we have to go down a dark rabbit hole, uncovering the dark glory of Ralph Lauren. A boy who dreamed of Hollywood's glamour to escape poverty. Little did he know, fate had even bigger plans in store, leading him to become one of fashion's most powerful figures. From selling ties out of a small Empire State Building drawer, to starting his own empire with a mere $30,000 loan. His obsession to become a millionaire was unstoppable, weaving visions of elite Americans into the fabric of polo, piece by piece. But his rise came at a big cost and buried secrets that nobody knows about. Only by peeling back the layers can we see the real struggles that shaped Ralph Lauren. From near bankruptcy, bruising feuds with the media, to marriage rocked by alleged affairs. This is the tale of a man who spun his darkest moments into an iconic American legacy. But behind the polished facade, there's a darker tale that's every bit as compelling. Ralph Lauren was born Ralph Lipschitz in 1939 in the Bronx, New York City, to Ashkenazi Jewish immigrants, Frank and Frida, who had escaped Belarus to build a life in the Big Apple. Ralph shared a room with two brothers, and from an early age, he learned to escape his family's poverty by immersing himself in Hollywood films. In school, he was more interested in sports than studying. He cruised thrift stores for tweed blazers, army jackets that suited his weird style. Even as a teenager, he was called out for his distinct fashion sense, drawing personal inspiration from screen icons like Fred Astaire and Cary Grant. Ralph had a taste for both classic preppy wear and vintage looks. But it wasn't just the teasing about his fashion that bothered him. His last name, Lipschitz, became a source of bullying in school. At 16, he officially adopted the name Lauren, shedding the past and embracing a future meant for a style icon. After graduating high school, Ralph studied business at Baruch College in Manhattan for 2 years, but dropped out when he realized that business wasn't his passion. In 1964, just a few years before launching his iconic brand Polo, Ralph married the love of his life, Ricky Ann Lowe Beer, whom he met while she worked as a receptionist at an eye doctor's office. It was love at first sight. 6 months later, they were married. Ralph believes Ricky was the missing piece in his life, the one who ignited his passion and pushed him to chase his dreams with fierce dedication. It wasn't until he got a sales job at Brooks Brothers, the oldest men's clothing brand in America, that he got a glimpse of haute couture designs. While selling ties at Brooks Brothers, Lauren was learning everything about high-end menswear and elite customer relationships. At age 28, in 1967, Lauren began working for Beau Brummel, the well-known tie manufacturer. Working at Beau Brummel changed his life forever, one that hinted at the birth of Ralph Lauren. He wanted to design his own neckties, something untraditional. But would he dare ask his new boss, or walk out the door? He was able to convince the CEO of Beau Brummel to create his own line of men's neckties with a wider cut, branding them under the name Polo after his love for sport. Each tie cost about $7 to $15, much more expensive than a $5 regular tie. Later in an interview with Oprah Winfrey, he stated that polo was an international sport and a sophisticated word, so he decided to name it. But the designs he had cut out in his mind were unlike ever worn before. He was vivid clear as opposed to skinny dull types. He wanted wider, more colourful ties handmade with unique fabrics. Every tie was expressive, with a bold palette, flamboyant themes, and movie-style glamour from the 30s. Scared but determined, Lauren did not let his lack of fashion degree discourage him from pursuing his goals. He was ready to challenge the fashion norms and create neckties that reflected classic American upper class. He worked out of a single drawer in a showroom in the Empire State Building and made deliveries to stores himself. He started by selling ties to classmates at his Jewish day school, but he wanted his ties displayed in big boutiques and exclusive retail stores, especially Bloomingdale's, the hottest luxury department store in America. So one day, Lauren walked into Bloomingdale's with a bag full of his ties and hopes just as high. As he laid them out, he saw a spark of interest in the buyer's eyes. This was it, Ralph thought, his big break. But just as quickly, the offer came with strings. They wanted Lauren to make the ties narrower, lose his label, and let Bloomingdale's brand them as their own. At that moment, Lauren knew he would never change the design, let anybody clip his wings. Bloomingdale was everything he wanted, but he couldn't sell out his vision. "I'd love to sell to Bloomingdale's," he told the buyer, "but I'm not doing that." He closed his bag with a calm resolve, even as his heart pounded. "I think you could use these ties, but I'm closing the bag." Then he turned and left, legs nearly giving away under the weight of what he'd just risked. That was the turning point in his career. He hadn't just turned down a sale, he'd stood his ground, betting on his name, his design, and his future. 6 months later, Bloomingdale's called Ralph back. They wanted his ties, just as they were. By 1969, he had his own boutique inside the Manhattan store, the first designer ever to get that honor. The ties flew off the shelves, racking up $500,000 in sales in the first year, with retailers like Paul Stewart, Neiman Marcus, and Bloomingdale's lining up for more. John Varvatos, Ralph's protege, puts it simply: Ralph never stops. Success is just a moment to him. You celebrate it. But then it's right back to pushing forward, always looking for the next big idea. The idea came at his first polo match. He attended with his friend Warren Hellstein, and the experience was nothing short of fabulous and unearthing. Surrounded by high society, wealth glimmering in silver buckles, leather saddles, and tall, slinky blondes in wide-brimmed hats, he absorbed every detail. For Ralph, this wasn't just an event, it was a revelation. He didn't just want to sell clothes, he wanted to sell a lifestyle, a vision that captured the allure of American socialites and the grace of English aristocracy. Suddenly, the pieces of his dream aligned. With newfound clarity, Ralph knew what his brand needed to be. Without hesitation, he took a $50,000 loan and started his company, Polo Ralph Lauren, in 1970, designing a range of flannel suits and dress shirts. The sales went wild as these tailored men's shirts had become increasingly popular among the high-paying customers. He had taken the fashion industry by the storm, and people were hooked with tweedy English-American look with a French cut. His work earned him the prestigious Coty Award that same year for exceptional men's designs. The next year, 1971, Ralph Lauren Corporation launched a women's line featuring classic tailored shirts and sportswear made from men's fabrics, a bold innovation. The company revealed the now famous polo player emblem to the world and opened a flagship store on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, marking the first freestanding store for an American designer. By 1972, Lauren had achieved a major breakthrough. He released a short-sleeve cotton shirt in 24 colors. The preppy, elegant design, emblazoned with the company's famed logo, that of a polo player, created by tennis pro René Lacoste, became the brand's signature look. The campaign tagline, "Every team has its color, Polo has 17, became unforgettable. His polo shirt collection was a monumental success, establishing Lauren as the most sought-after designer, a visionary shattering fashion stereotypes and making America glamorous again. 2 years later, Lauren received a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to design costumes for the male cast of the film, The Great Gatsby. The lead character, Robert Redford as Jay Gatsby, wore a striking tailored pink suit, while Mia Farrow's pastel dresses as Daisy Buchanan reflected the delicate grace of the jazz age. He also dressed the cast of The Wild Party with James Coco and Raquel Welch donning 70s-styled outfits. Just a few years later, Annie Hall premiered, featuring Diane Keaton in fitted vests, oversized blazers, and men's ties that celebrated individuality. Keaton's style resonated deeply with audiences, transforming her into a fashion icon and solidifying Lauren's role in shaping modern femininity. By the end of 1970s, Ralph Lauren was sealed as a legendary American designer whose work left an indelible mark on Hollywood. In March 1978, Ralph Lauren's woman fragrance named Lauren debuted in Bloomingdale's, and a month later, Polo, a cologne for men, was released. In 1979, Ralph Lauren launched Polo Western, featuring rugged denim, fringed suede jackets, and plaid shirts inspired by cowboy style of the American West. With bold belt buckles and leather boots, the line sold out quickly, grossing $25 million in its first year, and expanding to 75 stores nationwide. And in 1981, the brand went global when it opened its very first international store in London, England. In 1983, Ralph Lauren diversified his product line by introducing Ralph Lauren Home that featured a variety of home furnishings designed around 4 signature Ralph Lauren motifs: thoroughbred, New England, Jamaica, and log cabin. But how did Ralph Lauren come up with the idea to decorate homes? There is a very interesting backstory. One fine morning, Lauren was shopping with his wife, Ricky. Wandering through Westchester Mall, he found himself staring at floral bed sheets that had no variety or quality. He laughed, thinking out loud, "What's with these flowers?" So, Lauren took matters into his own hands. He wanted sheets that felt personal, like his clothes. Oxford classic in pink and blue with a touch of polo. He got to work creating bedding from chambray, Oxford cloth, and paisley, complete with mother-of-pearl buttons. But it wasn't easy. Cotton sheets were rare, and the specialized looms made production costly. When customers responded enthusiastically, Bloomingdale's Marvin Traub, a longtime supporter, encouraged him to expand. Lauren took the challenge, moving beyond sheets to towels, dinnerware, and wall coverings. Each piece was Ralph's way, echoing elegant comfort. And that's how the Ralph Lauren home line was born, one inspired detail at a time. As Ralph Lauren Corporation thrived, his personal life became messy. Behind the empire's glittering facade, turbulence brewed, a deep turmoil that threatened to shake him to his core. In the book Genuine Authentic, Michael Gross cracks open Ralph Lauren's world, exposing secrets he wanted buried. His affair with model Kim Nye, the face of his 1984 Safari fragrance, was one of the 2 high-profile scandals. On a Caribbean shoot, he danced naked around her, whispering, "I look at you and see myself. That's why I love you." While his marriage was in troubled waters, Lauren's first Madison Avenue flagship was opening in the posh Rhinelander mansion in full swing. Amidst this chaos, Lauren also had a fling with a British editor, a true Casanova who loved fast cars, blonde women, and polo horses. Ralph Lauren once even tried to charm Princess Diana at a gala, only for her to rebuff him with the icy quip that he barely reached her chest. But when his wife, Ricky, issued a final ultimatum to end his affairs or face divorce, Lauren finally came to his senses, leaving his fleeting romances in the dust. Employees describe Lauren as brutal and demanding. In the late 1990s, Lauren withdrew all his advertising from Harper's Bazaar, believing editor Liz Tilburis wasn't giving his brand enough coverage. At the time, she was battling ovarian cancer, but Lauren didn't care. As Gross peeled back layers of Lauren's dark reality, the stakes soared. Fearing the fallout, Lauren blacklisted the author from publishing jobs and even cancelled a friend's reservation at his exclusive Polo Bar when he learned Gross would attend. In 1986, opening his first flagship store was a bold gamble that mirrored his ambition. Most of his clothing was sold in department stores, but Lauren envisioned a space where every line, men's, women's, and home, came to life under one roof. The results were staggering: a $100,000 in sales on opening day, an extraordinary figure for that time. Lauren was ruling the world, transforming that mansion on Madison Avenue into a formidable empire. sacrificing everything to protect the secrets he feared could destroy it. But little did he know, beneath that facade of power, he was dying inside from a brain tumor. It started off with terrible migraines and loud ringing in his ears, and after several months of enduring the pain, he decided to consult his doctors. Fortunately, it was a benign brain tumor that was removed after a surgery and he completely recovered. But the near-death experience had changed him for a greater good, and in 1989, Lauren co-founded Nina Hyde Center for Breast Cancer Research at Georgetown University Hospital in Washington, D.C., in memory of the late fashion editor Nina Hyde. Over the years, he has donated more than $66 million to support various cancer institutes. Then came 1991, which turned out to be a memorable year for the brand. Ralph Lauren introduced the Polo Bear teddy bear, a charming collaboration with Steiff that quickly captured hearts. The limited edition of 200 bears was sold out in a weekend, leading to a 20% increase in sweater sales. Customers adored the idea of world's best-dressed teddy bear in different styles like preppy bear, martini bear, beach bear, and collegiate bear. Soon the Polo Bear was embroidered onto clothes including sweaters, slippers, denim jackets, and much more. Who knew this Polo Bear clothing that started with a dressed-up bear gift to Lauren would become a cult favorite among millennials? The trend soared when Kanye West wore a red Polo Bear sweater for the cover of his 2004 debut, College Dropout. Later that year, Ralph Lauren launched Polo's Sport line, a performance-driven activewear in bold tones and edgy designs. Polo Sports line made its debut with Stadium Collection and was an instant hit among sportsmen and fitness enthusiasts. 10 additional lines were launched, including Ralph Lauren Purple Label in 1995, when brands like Gucci, Versace, Prada were catering the high-end market in Europe. Lauren took this opportunity to create exclusive Western suits that embodied European tailoring with finest material. With each shirt costing a whopping $500 to $800, the Purple Label represents the very best of Ralph Lauren's iconic designs. It won't be wrong to say his Purple Label inspired him to do something vibrant, like introducing his first ever paint collection, Ralph Lauren Paint, boasting 400 colors across 5 lifestyle collections. In late 90s, the company was tangled into controversies, near bankruptcy, that disclosed the real colors of Ralph Lauren Corporation. Behind Ralph Lauren's polished empire lies a murky reality, a company selling the American dream while exploiting cheap, unsafe labor overseas. While shoppers pay $98 for a single polo shirt, factory workers in Bangladesh and other Asian countries are working grueling hours on wages that wouldn't even buy a Ralph Lauren sock. These factories operate under hazardous conditions, crumbling buildings with few safety measures. Incredibly, Ralph Lauren declined to sign the Accord on Fire and Building Safety in Bangladesh, sidestepping its role in protecting the very workers it relies on. To add to deception, the brand flaunts Made in America pride when convenient, like for the Olympic scandal rebound in 2014, yet keeps most production in Asia to cut costs. Consumers pay for the logo and the myth of American craftsmanship, not knowing that much of the money feeds into luxury ads and glamorous Fifth Avenue storefronts, not labor welfare. For Ralph Lauren, it's all about brand prestige, but at what cost to human dignity? The same happened in 2010 when the company faced a $4 million class action wage lawsuit from 6,700 California employees who claimed they were denied rest breaks and locked in stores for daily, unpaid bag checks. Filed 4 years earlier, the case centered on workers in California's Polo stores and outlets who alleged they were required to stay an extra 15 minutes each day without pay, while managers inspected their belongings for theft. Though Ralph Lauren denied the allegations, calling the bag checks a loss prevention tool, US District Judge Susan Ilston approved the $4 million settlement, labeling it fair and reasonable. For the workers, the settlement was a hard-won victory, but the company still had plenty of dirty laundry left to air. In 2013, Ralph Lauren found itself tangled in another scandal at its Argentine branch. where a manager reportedly bribed officials to dodge customs checks between 2005 and 2009. Once the company uncovered the scheme, it quickly came clean to US authorities, leading to a hefty $1.6 million settlement, $882,000 to the Department of Justice, and nearly $735,000 to the SEC. The costly scandal came with a stark warning for the company. Even a hint of corruption can drain millions and damage reputations. Although the company did lose millions of dollars after the company went public in 1997, when Goldman Sachs purchased more than a quarter of the company. It also hit a major milestone, crossing $1 billion in sales. Ralph Lauren Corporation was worth $7.6 billion in revenue by 2015, but the brand plummeted as overproduction and discount-focused strategies backfired. Eager to feed mass-market demand, the brand flooded low-end stores like Macy's, and their luxurious image faded among clearance racks. The stock price devalued from $180 in 2014 to falling over 50% in just a few years. In a desperate attempt to protect its luxury image, the company burned $155 million worth of unsold merchandise, a staggering move to keep its goods from bargain bins. But even this wasn't enough. CEO Stefan Larsson stepped in, cutting lead times, closing 50 stores, and laying off 1,200 jobs to regain its luxury status. Eventually, Ralph fired Larsson, leaving investors shaken. Finally, Patrice Louvet arrived, bringing discipline and steering the company back to its roots. By 2019, the brand was rebounding, with quarterly profits hitting record highs, discounting at a 5-year low, and stocks beginning to climb once more. Ralph Lauren's magic had once again begun. In 1999, Ralph Lauren opened his first restaurant, RL, beside his biggest Chicago store. With 98 seats and a refined take on American classics, it introduced Lauren's signature style in dining. A decade later, in 2010, he expanded to Paris, opening both a flagship store and the restaurant Ralph's on Boulevard Saint-Germain. Set in a beautifully restored 17th century Hotel Particulier, the 13,000 square foot space radiated elegance, with crystal chandeliers, Versailles-style parquet floors, and wrought iron balconies. Then in 2015, he launched a Polo Bar at his Polo flagship store in New York. As Ralph Lauren business ventures expanded, he introduced his first official website, Polo.com, in 2000, featuring his collection online for the very first time to the world. The brand notched another big accomplishment when Polo Ralph Lauren became the official outfitter of Wimbledon, designing uniforms for tennis players. In the following years, RL Corporation also became the official outfitter for the US Olympics and Paralympics team. By 2020, Ralph Lauren had won his second CFDA Menswear Designer of the Year award, launched Pink Pony, an awareness program to fight against cancer with a line of women's Pink Pony t-shirts, opened his automobile exhibition center in Paris, and contributed the iconic polo shirt to the Museum of Modern Arts. But hold on a second, the brand had yet to show the world how fashion and technology could merge, so they introduced the Polotech Smart Jacket for the Olympic Winter Games, featuring heating technology that keeps you warm for up to 11 hours with an onboard heating system. As the world welcomed the new millennium, Ralph Lauren was busy dressing Gwyneth Paltrow on the night she won the Best Actress Academy Award for Shakespeare in Love, wearing a gorgeous bubblegum pink gown. This red carpet moment set the stage for the brand's first men's runway show in Milan for his Purple Label collection in 2002. And just like that, in 2018, 50 years of the Ralph Lauren Corporation had passed. To mark the half-century milestone, a star-studded celebration lit up Central Park, New York, with 600 celebrities gathering to honor Ralph Lauren's legacy. The kid who once dreamed of becoming a millionaire is now a multi-billionaire, with a sprawling business empire, homes in Long Island, Jamaica, Bedford, and Manhattan, plus a 17,000-acre ranch in Colorado, and a $600 million car collection to top it off. Today, Ralph Lauren's stock price is $200 with $1.6 billion earnings in Q2, and it just keeps rising. So there you have it, Ralph Lauren's dark glory in every detail. But hold on, before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to keep watching such thrilling movies that will set your heart racing.